Yeah, Santa Cruz, it was divided into, now it's divided into different missions, but before it was just, when I was there, just the one mission. And so you'd have missionaries that just stayed in the city of Santa Cruz, but then you got to provinces. There was a place called Jacuiba that I think shared land with Argentina. And then you'd go more over, and we also shared part of Brazil. So we'd have Argentina and Brazil all a part of our mission. And so any missionaries who got sent out to these provinces served in those different countries. And in Santa Cruz, I think we only had 8 stakes in the whole city. And it's a big city. I think that's all we had. And so you'd have there, which you so do not have in Utah and in many other missions, because there's so many, but you'd have a set of missionaries assigned to each ward. And so you only served in one ward, where I know here there's missionaries serving in 3 different stakes all at once, you know. And that's not at all what it was. You got to focus on your one ward, which made it very helpful in the work. A lot of members, you know, the church isn't very established there yet. It's still all really new. The chapels are beautiful and gorgeous. Of course, because the church built them, but they don't quite know the flow of things. I mean, even just to passing the sacrament is so interesting, because here where it's been going on for so long, we know that the deacons stand at the end of the pew, pass it, and we all pass it along. That's not there yet. They don't totally get that yet, so the deacons are kind of wobbling in and out of people and scoop past everybody, and I so badly wanted to be like, just stand there and pass it back and forth, you know. It's just, everything is just still so new. But the thing is, the members rely so much on the church building itself. I have never seen people use the church building itself more than people in Santa Cruz, and even in Peru as well. It was a place for them to go. I mean, every activity, and there was a soccer field out back, of course, because it's South America and you have to have a soccer field everywhere you go, but there was a soccer field out back and everybody would go play there, and just everybody knew that they were going to the church. You just, hey, tonight we're going to be at church. What are you doing? Oh, we're just going to be there. And that's where people found, I think, a safe haven. The nearest temple that we had was in Cochabamba, so I never got to go there. So I never, in the Santa Cruz part of my mission, I never got to go to the temple. From what I understood, and maybe I didn't understand it very well, is I think you could get there by a ferry from Santa Cruz somehow. I don't know how it all worked and how you travel. Maybe it was a bus and then a ferry, or a ferry then a bus, or something happened. And so it was a big deal for members to plan a trip there. And you definitely, you know, especially living in Utah, where I could see 3 temples from my house alone. It's a very different perspective for these members who have the strength and the time and the courage, and probably not even really the money to go, but still save to get to the temple. And they're really a faithful people, but it is very easy to go inactive there. We found, I mean, just on the street that I lived in my first area in Santa Cruz, I remember going through the member list and seeing that there was like 5 members on our street that I had never even seen or known about, and you need to go and knock on their door and they'd never answer, things like that. So retention is a very big thing down there. You know, Gordon B. Hinckley talked about keeping the members in, and I think that's probably the biggest struggle as a missionary when you go down there, is keeping them there, because they see it, they experience the Spirit and the change in their hearts and the baptism, and they know that it's true, but because it's not so prominent like it is in Utah, it's kind of easy to just go away and kind of get lost, and home teaching isn't as great as it is in other places where the church has been longer. I mean, it's just still so new that they, bless their hearts, are just having a hard time hanging on. But the members who are hanging on strong, for sure.